Hey man, welcome to night number 1 of Pennsylvania Speedweek here at Williams Grove Speedway. Behind me is Williams Grove. I'm Joe Donahue, and we're going to cover all 10 nights. Night number 1, starting off pretty nice. It's actually a beautiful night out here, and we started off the program as dusty as we did when we started off the season. It is a dust bowl tonight. We'll get right into it. Starting off the evening, we had hot laps. The only thing that really happened worth noting was Austin Bishop had some issues, but the track was drying out pretty quickly and worked up to the wall. At the end of hot laps, it was Logan Wagner, Danny Dietrich, Chase Dietz, Devin Borden, and Mike Wagner setting the 5 fastest times. We had 2 flights of qualifying to go through as we have 34 entries for this event tonight. Flight 1, we saw the Kreitz 69K bust on the back straightaway, and Logan Wagner had some issues, so he only got 1 lap in. At the end of Flight 1, it was Danny Dietrich who ended up being the fastest overall for the night, ahead of Chase Dietz, Freddie Raymer, Troy Wagaman, and Dylan Cisney. Flight number 2 started off and went to the end with no problems. So Lucas Wolf was the fastest of that group over Chad Trout, Anthony Macri, Justin Whittle, and Cody Hartlob. So flight number 1 set the orders for the first 2 heat races, and then flight number 2 set the 3rd and 4th heat race starting orders. Heat race number 1 started off with Freddie Raymer on the pole and Dylan Cisney to his outside. Danny Dietrich was the fast qualifier, so he goes from 4th, and he had the chance to come and play and take away a spot in the redraw if he won the heat race. So he came out swinging. He got up to 2nd quickly from 4th place, and Dylan Cisney got the lead early. It was a 1-lane racetrack for the pretty much entirety of the heat race, but Danny Dietrich made those 2 passes, and then coming to the white flag, he was able to put a slider on Dylan Cisney, and then he took the lead at the white flag and ended up going the whole way and winning that one. And then Dylan Cisney also got passed by Freddie Raymer at the very end of it. So it went Danny Dietrich, Freddie Raymer, Dylan Cisney, Logan Wagner, and Mike Wagner. Those were the 5 transfers from the first heat race, and Danny Dietrich won, so he knocked out a position in the redraw, and he got a bonus check for that. Heat race number 2 saw Troy Wagaman and Devin Borden on the front row. Lance DeWeese did not show up for his heat race. He had some trouble with the car. There was a great race for the lead. Devin Borden fell into the grips of Ryan Taylor as a result of it, as it was the 2 front runners going at it, and then he fell to Ryan Taylor, and then on lap number 2, Ryan Taylor got up into the wall as he tried to slide Borden, and Borden kind of hit the block and ended up with the 20 car upside down. So we restarted and nothing really happened. It was actually pretty easy for Troy Wagaman to open up a gap after we restarted, and he was able to very easily win heat race number 2. There was a nice battle between 4th through 6th there at the end. It was Troy Wagaman over Devin Borden, Chase Dietz, Tony Jackson, and Aaron Bollinger. Heat race number 3 saw Anthony Macri on the pole, Cody Hartlob to his outside. It was the Macri show, and it was a good transfer battle going on, but up front, Anthony Macri just made business of heat race number 3, and as Cameron Smith and Jeff Halligan had a little battle at the end, it was Anthony Macri over Cody Hartlob, Ryan Smith, Jesse Addard, and then Jeff Halligan held on. Heat race number 4 was even less exciting than heat race number 3, as it was a 1-lane racetrack with almost no passing. Justin Whittle and Billy Dietrich made up the front row, and it was spread out the whole way through. Great run for Justin Whittle in that heat race, and he was able to take it over Billy Dietrich, Kyle Reinhardt, Dylan Norris, and Chad Trout. That set us up for where we are right now in the recording time, which is about to go into the B main, where we will consolidate the last 4 positions to start the A main. All right, we're here on the front stretch. The B main and A main have happened since the last time I talked to you. So for the B main, we saw TJ Stutz and Cameron Smith on the front row. It was spread out but raceable, and Lance DeWeese started at the rear because he didn't make his heat race. And what the real show of the B main was watching Lance DeWeese go from the rear all the way up through the field, and he took all 10 laps to do it, but he made it into a transfer spot. There was a little bit of a battle between TJ Stutz and Cam Smith at the start of it, but it all came down to Cameron Smith winning the B main over TJ Stutz, Kyle Moody, and then Lance DeWeese got that final transfer to make the A main, which was phenomenal to see and amazing to watch. A main results coming to you here. So we had a 30-lap race. Justin Whittle drew the pole with Danny Dietrich to his outside. Yeehaw. Justin Whittle got an early lead, and there was a little bit of jockeying for position all over the place. There was a caution on lap 4, not sure why. It didn't look like there were any cars involved in anything, unless it was somebody that pulled off the racetrack, and we didn't see it because I was spotted from the backstretch, and so was Matt Faust. On the restart, we saw a big berm, and that gave some opportunity for some passing and some sliding. Lance Deweese was really good, and he was working his way up through the field, as was Anthony Macri, who was up front but still had to make his way to the top 3. He did so coming towards lap 11 when they met lap traffic. In lap 16, somewhere around that range, Anthony Macri was able to use the lap traffic to his advantage and took the lead from Justin Whittle. It was pretty much the same show for a while after that point until there were 4 laps to go when Anthony Macri went into turn number 3, overcooked the corner a bit, jumped the cushion, and binned it from the lead on his own. And that was the end of the 39M for the night. The restart was really good for Freddie Raymer, who had been running pretty solidly in the top 10 up to this point. He was able to get up further and make a battle out of second place, and then he fell back a little bit from there, and it ended up being a battle between Troy Wogman and Justin Whittle. But the restart handed it to, and there was no competition for Danny Dietrich, as Danny Dietrich was able to take the victory over the rest of them. The results of the top 10 are going up on the screen right now. It was a fantastic race to the end there, and then Justin Whittle and Troy Wogman also got onto the podium with him. Justin had a really great night, honestly a little bit better than I initially expected him to, but still a really good rundown from there. Now let's look at the points after night number 1. So this is going to accumulate the heat race points, the qualifying points, and then the points that come from the feature race here. And that's the story from Williams Grove night number 1. Night number 2 is set to be at Lincoln Speedway tomorrow night. Hopefully it doesn't rain. There are thunderstorms on the forecast. We'll see what happens. We'll let you know what happens, because that's the goal of PA Speedweek here on Joe Donahue's channel. We're going to be bringing these events to you live, or not live, but from the track, and then we'll record it and upload it for you. So hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight, and you'll be tuning in with us tomorrow to see whatever happens. But until then, take it easy, everybody.